welcome to today's podcast. I am so excited. We have Faith Armstrong with us, and we're talking about something really cool. Have you ever wondered how these people on Instagram are getting so many book calls? Well, Faith has brought it to you. She has created an actual system that will help you get more bookings in your Instagram than ever before. But she doesn't leave it just to get bookings. She actually teaches you how to close a deal. Now, if you watch really carefully on this interview, you'll see that Faith turns it around and interviews me a couple times here too. It's a great conversation. Let's get into it right now. Welcome, Faith. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks, Christina. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome. Let's start off with letting everyone know what it is that you do and how you help everybody.
My name is Faith Armstrong. I am a sales trainer, and I help people specifically through our two-sided sales house called Action Academy. We specifically help purpose-driven, faith-driven entrepreneurs to book sales meetings on their calendar. And we also help people buy through a weekly training. So it's really fulfilling getting to be a part of people's businesses in a very results-oriented fashion.
So now you help them book the sales call. Let's talk a little bit about what
Yeah.
that actually means for someone out there who's trying to make sales.
Sure. So there's inbound and outbound sales, right? Inbound sales are when people come to you, they raise their hand first, and outbound sales are when you go to your target audience and invite them into what you're doing. There's room for both. I think people need both, especially starting out. If you want to get the ball rolling, if you're looking for quick results, quick feedback from people, you can get that quickly. You don't have to wait on people. You can actually go to people. And so that's what really we help people do is we help people go to their target audience using Instagram, using their social media. We invite them into the ecosystem of our clients through generosity. We give things away. We really help you craft unique campaigns based on our clients to then help them get in conversations with who they can serve, help them book meetings with who they can serve. That really highlighted to me whenever I started in the world of sales at Dale Carnegie Training. For those of you that don't know Dale Carnegie, he wrote the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. It really became clear to me that most people are not doing outbound sales, and they could be. And instead of just waiting for your following to grow, taking it into your own hands and having some control around the volume and who you target can be a massive impact to your business and your sales.
I talk a lot about with my clients. It's about branding, it's building. I'm a big believer in attracting people to you. And the big thing is if you don't have enough people coming in that are attracting to you, you have to go find them.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
so I run a real estate business as a separate company,
So
and I've moved to a brand new area. And my husband's so funny. He's like, okay, so you don't have any existing clients. We know nobody here. He's like, how are you going to get this thing rolling? And I'm like, oh, pretty easy. I'm going to do
Yep.
outbound sales. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there marketing to a very specific person,
Yep.
getting them interested. It's going to take time because they have to see me after so many times. But if you do it right, what I
Yes.
love is, and we talk about the pipeline. If you do it
Yes.
right, you fill this pipeline. And over time, I call it, it gets fat. It starts getting a fat pipeline.
Yeah.
And you get more and more people coming in because you've put in the work. I call it
Right.
compounding effort. You
Yep.
put the compounding effort in, you get better and better results because you're learning as you go.
Sure.
And then it becomes almost effortless because it's flowing. And then that creates the inbound too. Now people
Yes.
are starting to come to you because they see you,
Yeah.
because you're out there more in the world.
Absolutely. And I think you make a great point there, Christina, is that whenever you're brand new into something, people don't know you. You can't expect people to come to you when they don't know who you are. And so, really, as much as we can, hitting that specific target and going to them, extending the hand is what I like to say, and making people aware of who you are and how you can help them, either now or in the future. It does build that fat pipeline, like you were
Yes.
saying. And then that compound effect of maybe those people come in later, and it's not
Mhm.
exactly whenever you reach out to them the first time, but they start following you, receiving your content. You build that trust and authority as you continue to show up, especially on the social media presence like Instagram. It can be very relational if you have content that resonates with your target audience. You can build trust, you can build authority through the content as well as through the communication piece. And so that's why I teach our clients, hey, it's crucial that you keep up sharing that authority on Instagram. In your posts, you continue to show up and really add value, because guess what? As soon as you reach out to someone, what are they going to look at? They're going to look at your profile. They're going to be looking through your posts. They're going to be checking your bio, be
They're stalking you.
stalking you
Yes.
exactly to see what you're all about. And so if that digital presence isn't there and you're just reaching out to them, the chances are that they respond is going to be very low. So meeting both sides of it is really crucial.
And then in your business, do you find that you also need the element of time? I find that with social media, people sell it out there as just get in, use Instagram, and you can fill your pipeline. But I also feel like you need to use time as your advantage and you let
Yes.
it build, because if you're new and even if you're doing a lot of outbound stuff, you don't have the visibility.
True. There is patience that is required with it. And when that patience is met with persistence and we continue to show up, we continue to build relationships and make connections, it goes faster, but that volume has to be there. And so that's why people come to us normally, is because they've been trying outbound sales on their own. They're maybe reaching out to 5 or 10 people a day, but guess what? Sales is a numbers game. And so you got to increase that volume exponentially and reach way more people than that in order to see the return. And so that's why people come to us, because our Instagram sales system is automated. We just type in their target audience, which is different for each client of ours. And then our system goes out and finds people on Instagram who fit that criteria of the people they're trying to target. And then it blasts and shoots connections and relationship driven messages to help people know who our clients are, first off,
Okay.
and to build that connection and relationship with them for future communication.
Is that all through DMs? Okay, so it's a DM
Yep.
based system.
It is, yeah. And most people, whenever it's done right, and that's the key, they're actually responding. And it's all about how you reach out. So many people are hesitant to reach out to strangers because strangers reach out to them, and guess what they do? Ignore
You
it.
know why, right? I've been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years, but I've been in sales forever. That's my entrepreneur journey is sales.
Yeah.
But what happens is they message you and it's
Mhm.
not like, hey, Faith, I wanted to connect. You look like you're somebody we can hang out, or you start
Yep.
the conversation somewhere. A lot of them say, hey, I noticed your Instagram's not working really well. So maybe if
Mhm.
you did these 5 things, and it's a canned message to pre-sell you.
Yep.
But I'm sitting here going,
Yep.
but you don't know what I'm about. So how can you fix it? Maybe you have a system that works, yes, but a lot of times they sell you stuff that doesn't really work and they don't do anything.
Totally.
They just want your money. So that's part of the
Totally.
problem.
Totally. It's all about how you do it. And
Yeah.
if you do it the way that we teach, it's effective. If you don't do it, if you do it the way that you're describing, people reach out to you, you're not going to respond to that. I get those too. And I've never responded to them
No.
because it's not personal. Our system, it's AI driven. It pulls out things in people's profile and posts and starts with compliments. It's all about just building connection, building relationship. And then if someone's interested in their services down the road, great. But it's all about that first initial connect of how are you doing it and what does it mean to look at someone as a person and not just another number. We need to look at people as people and focus on building connection and relationship, because that's what really sustains. People aren't going to continue to be clients long term if they don't see that you really care. That's
Yeah.
what sales is. It's showing people that you truly care. You want to help them change their business, change their life. If that's you, great. If that's someone else, great. But being unattached to that outcome because you just truly care about them receiving the help that they need.
And it's such a difference. At the end of the day, I help my clients with subtraction. So they already have their businesses going. And now
Yeah.
it's refining and making it simple. I do income jumps. How do you make it effortless? I make it so easy that you're making more and more money when you streamline all this stuff and you look at a business as, like you said, helping someone,
Yep.
right? I'm going to give them everything. And if I can solve their problem faster than ever, maybe I'll
Yep.
charge more, but let's solve the problem first. But
Exactly.
so now you said you have a system. Is it a system that
Mhm.
you guys created and built?
Yes, my husband is on the back end side. He loves the systems and the processes. I'm more on the people side, obviously loving the sales and
Yeah.
marketing. And for us, I think what's been really unique is just seeing our complementary skill sets work so well together. And obviously, we know that to get to the next levels in business, you have to have a system to back it up. It's all about systems at the end of the day. And I really didn't know that coming into the world of entrepreneurship. And whenever I continued on my journey and met my husband and learned how he's doing things in his own startup as well, I realized that's the thing that's going to move us to the next level is having sustainable systems that work on autopilot, that do the work for us, just like you were saying, that can help us go to the next level without requiring more of our time.
Yeah.
That is huge. And I'm curious for you, Christina,
Yeah.
what has been something that you've learned over your course of entrepreneurship that's changed the game for you, like systems and automated systems has changed the game for me?
Well, time is finite. You only have
Yep.
so much time. And so, what I had to learn is instead of giving all my time away
Mm-hmm.
and putting my time in as a currency, to
Mm-hmm.
stop doing that, right?
That's
And
good.
to instead say, if I'm going to make it a currency, I must get something so valuable out of it. So
Yep.
here's an example. I was paying a lot of money for a video editor, and he
Mm-hmm.
was editing my podcast, editing my YouTubes because I do 2 a week. I was paying a lot of money, but I wasn't getting views and I wasn't getting people watching, and I was struggling with that. Why am I paying all this money?
Yeah.
If I haven't figured it out myself, he's not going to figure it out. So instead, I canceled him and I'm back at editing my own videos. Now, I'm trading my time, right?
Yeah.
And I said, but the value of what I'm going to get out of that time is crucial. I'm going to learn now what with the video lands, how I can edit, how I can do pacing. And then I'm going to create my system
Ah,
of
that's good.
how they need to be editing it, the
Mhm.
pacing, the feel, all of that, so that when I do hand it off here in the future, I get the right kind of videos. But I have to learn it myself.
That's good. I
So
love that.
this is what you have to look at in a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
right.
And
Yeah.
kudos to you for looking at what you're investing in and think, okay, the ROI is not here with that. So I'm going to take it and do it myself, learn how I can produce the return on investment, and then potentially hand it off to someone in the future. But particularly in your story that you just shared, Christina, I had a similar story with a social media manager who was posting for me. And whenever I found out that really posts weren't the thing driving new clients to me, it was DMs, it was getting in conversations, it was connecting with people. That's when we spent all the time, right, creating the system that would do that for us. But the social media manager just posting for something where the ROI wasn't there was not a great use of the investment, right?
And the thing is, you can have a social media manager posting and commenting. At the end
Mm.
of the day, she's not me, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so what happens is you can't get these conversations going. You're struggling a little bit. And
Yeah.
what I like is that you have your AI and you have your system where it actually goes out and
Hmm.
it's looking at posts. That's where you build that relationship because even though
Yeah.
it's a bot, it
Yes.
makes you feel like someone cares. And that's
So
the
true.
difference.
So true. Yeah. So that first message is automated, right? You're perfectly right. Reads the person's profile, their post, comes up with something customized. So it's not just general being sent to everyone. And then what's neat is that our clients receive a text every time a person responds interested
Okay.
to an outreach. And so they get to respond right inside our system where they click on through text and see an automated drafted message that our AI suggests how they respond.
Cool.
But they can tweak it if it doesn't sound exactly like them or they want to add something else into it because AI is not human. We know that. And so sometimes there's a personal touch that's needed that our AI doesn't read. And so our clients can tweak it if they want, but it has follow-up messages drafted as well that will automatically deploy if that prospect that they're in conversation with doesn't respond back to the message that they sent. So they don't have to remember to respond and follow up because let's
Yeah.
face it, the Instagram inbox is like an inbox of doom. You can't find anyone anymore. It's a
It's horrible. I'm an efficiency strategy. I've helped a lot of tech startups where I
yeah.
go in as an advisor, and I'm really big on usability of a product. So I'm looking at Instagram, I'm thinking, there's no freaking reason why I cannot segregate out certain people. Like there's friends of mine. So we have friend conversations. I
Yep.
lose them.
Yep,
And then
you
I
lose them.
have business conversations. I do tag them as a lead so I can try to
Uh-huh.
find them. But
Yeah.
there's no way to have a lead folder where all my leads are in one
Nope,
and I
nope.
lose them.
Right.
And then I am great with names, but I will tell you, I interact with so many people. I will never ever forget your face.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
may not remember your name. And sometimes
Yeah.
I'm scrolling for your picture and I'm like, what was their name?
I know. And most of our clients who are just starting out, they don't have a system yet. They don't have a CRM. They don't have a pipeline.
Okay,
And we have that inside of our Instagram sales system for them. So they can organize their contacts that they're in
that's
with.
cool.
They can see their pipeline right on the dashboard. It's all right there. They don't have to worry about losing people in the Instagram scroll of doom. I'm curious for you, Christina, what has been a game changer for you recently when it comes to outbound sales? And how are you thinking about doing that with moving to a new area, for instance? Are you looking to do it online or going in person? Curious to hear like your experience with it.
Yeah. So, like outbound sales, I run multiple businesses. So, the real estate side that I do, which I keep separate from my coaching side, that one I'm going to actually use postcards.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so I'm actually
Cool.
really niching down and I haven't sent them yet because I'm trying to decide if I want to really focus in on the medical people. And if
Mhm.
I focus on medical group like doctors, surgeons, dentists, orthodontists, I'm not going to do postcards because it's really hard for me to find their home to send it. So
Yeah.
postcards are more blanketing, like I can narrow down a postcard to how long they've owned the home, how much the value of the home is worth.
Cool.
You can't necessarily figure out are they a doctor or not. So if I do the doctor realm, I won't do postcards. I'll actually do social events. And
Okay,
I'll get them in
nice.
a room together with a speaker and I will meet them through a strategy that way. So there's different ways on that,
Okay,
right?
love that
On
idea.
yeah, so on the coaching side, I actually have my House of Cortessa, which is a
Yeah.
private society for women. And it's all about building ecosystems that breathe, having income jumps that are effortless, and eco stacking, which is stacking ecosystems on each other to build an empire where you go live your life and you're making a lot of money. That's what I've been doing over 10 years, and I'm a multimillionaire. So it's growing that and doing even more with it. And then I
Yeah.
have my live experience, which is for women to come for a half experience or a full experience. And that's where we actually work on our business. It's something that no one ever does. It's not talking heads on stage. It's not me
Mm,
teaching something. It's actually nitty gritty, getting in the work and having a 5% jump in
love
your
it.
business. So it's looking at how do I fill that? How I'm going to attract them? Well,
Yeah.
instead of posting all day long, trying to get in
Yeah.
DMs, because my people are very specific, it's not
Yep.
just the masses.
Yep.
I actually am utilizing collaboration. I'm
Cool.
utilizing people. So the guest I just had on the podcast this morning, her audience is very similar to mine. And so all her past clients would be ideal for the experience. And she's going to help fill it. So it's
Awesome.
figuring out your own business structure,
Hmm.
how it's moving, where your people are. And if your people live in an ecosystem like Instagram, then it's where do they live? Why do they live there? Why are they showing up? What are they looking at? What are all the reasons to that? So you
Mm-hmm.
can find them.
Yeah,
Yes.
that definitely makes sense. And the power of collaboration too, just
Yes.
how much impact that can be made when you borrow someone else's audience. Like one specific client that we have right now is a little different than the other clients that we serve. She is actually a founder of a tech company,
Okay.
and she is looking to collaborate with people, just like you said. That's her strategy. She doesn't want to go one to one and try to sell one to one, but she's looking for partners to host in-person virtual events with, to borrow
Yeah.
audiences, and to use the power of collaboration. And that's been really fun to see that side of potential for Action Academy. We're kind of using her as like a test to see if this will actually pan out as another service we can expand to. So for people who want to use DMs as collaboration and reach out to people for the purpose of building relationships to collaborate and
Yeah.
not sell directly to, that's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. But she's already having success in the first couple weeks, so I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, I think the power of collaboration is huge. And
Yes.
it's what you do with it. So, like,
Yeah.
we can just sit and have this conversation and we can be done for the day.
Yeah.
Instead, it's what can we do after this? How can
Yes.
we help your people? How can you help my people?
Yeah.
And I call it cross pollinate. How can we
Yes.
cross pollinate with each other so
Yeah.
that everybody who is listening, watching, or in the ecosystems that we're building get what
Sure.
they need? Because at the
Sure.
end of the day, we all need something. And maybe I have someone listening who's like, I freaking love Instagram, but I'm struggling. It's about
That's a good
opening
point.
people's eyes, seeing what's out there. And it was funny, I brought somebody on who at the time was doing something very similar to me when I
Oh
used
yeah.
to have my courses. And they were like, why did you bring me on? And I was like, because it doesn't matter if you do the same thing. You're going to have people in your sphere that love you or
Yeah.
don't. And if they don't
Yeah.
love you, they might love me. We all see everything in our own lens.
Good
So
point.
so it doesn't matter. So I'm never threatened by anybody because
Yes.
my people will come to me because of me. Your people will come to you because of you.
Love it. I love that abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And truly, if everyone can see it that, I
Yeah.
think we would have a much better world.
Yes.
But you doing this is brilliant. Hosting a podcast, inviting people to come and guest and to be in this conversation with you opens up many doors as well. So that's a great strategy. And everyone's just got to find their own that they really love and they feel fulfilled by, and that also produces results.
And let's talk about that for a minute because so
Yeah.
many people think they have to do a podcast or YouTube or they think they have to do all these things. And I'm like the biggest believer in simplify.
Yes,
Right?
me
We don't
too.
need to be everywhere. I love YouTube. I
Good.
love the
Yeah.
strategy around it. It's long term, which means it's there forever. People
Hmm.
go there to be educated. I'm more of an
Sure.
educational style, inspirational style. And so I feel like you got to pick what works for you.
Definitely.
Too many people are like, I'll have a podcast, and then YouTube, and then LinkedIn, and then Instagram, TikTok. It's too much. And at the
Hmm.
end of the day, how do you get really good at one thing?
Yep.
You're doing everything.
You make a great point. Again, just simplifying, going to where you feel peace ultimately that resonates with you, that is somewhere where you can lose track of time.
Yeah.
So for you, that sounds like it's YouTube, right? Or podcasting. For me, it's Instagram and just honing in on your zone of genius, wherever
Yes.
that zone is, and going full out. And if you do that, then I believe the people who you're meant to serve will find you there. As long as you show up and you continue to be there and available to serve and put out content that resonates, that educates, that gives value. That for me, I think has been a great piece of advice that I got a long time ago. So for anyone that is listening to this, and you might be multi-passionate, you might have different target audiences that are in different places, as much as you can though, try to simplify and pick one or two platforms that you love and that you could just spend all day on, because that's what it's going to take to really get your voice out there. And we do so much every day, we might as well love it. If you
Yeah.
don't love it, if you don't enjoy where you're at and what you're doing, then do it somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's great because I always tell people Instagram or whatever we want to talk about is for someone like Jenna Kutcher. She
Yeah.
was so funny. So she does her podcast and she thought, okay, well, I'm going to get a new stream of revenue and
Mhm.
I'm going to do YouTube too because you can get paid on YouTube. And it was funny. She recorded all her podcasts and she just dumped 400 episodes onto YouTube and then she was trying to keep up with it. What people don't understand is if you're not comfortable being all natural, you have to get dressed up every day in your videos. So I package in a couple days. So this week in 3 days, I'm doing 8 podcast interviews. And then the rest of the time I edit, I do different things. But she quickly was like, yeah, I'm not doing YouTube anymore. I don't want to be camera ready all the time. Everybody is different in what they like. And I
Mhm.
love that you love Instagram and you have figured out the secret code. Right?
Yeah.
You saw it. Let's really guide people through the right way. And if they see it's right, they'll come join us and they'll
Yeah.
work with us. If not, that's okay. And I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And there's so many fish in the sea. So not taking it personally, not being offended. That's a huge thing, because when we have an unattached mindset, when we're not focused on the outcome necessarily, but we just seek to serve and seek to give and know and trust that those who we're meant to serve, we will serve. That has made sales way more fun for me, first off. And if everyone can get into that mindset of not being concerned about what they receive, but what they can give and how they can serve people, think a lot more people would enjoy sales and have fun with it and it not be this burden or this thing that's so stressful.
I think it's because the way they're taught, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was in corporate sales, I remember I had a manager and he would be like clapping at me. Did you make your 100 calls today? And I would literally be like, dude, I'm going to throw a stapler at you. Like, stop clapping at me. I hated it. But in
Yeah.
sales, they teach you no is not a no. No means not right now. So
Mm,
people take that as harp until someone says,
mm.
yes, or push them until they're ready. And what happens is if you push someone into a sale that they don't want,
Ah,
they don't get the results
right.
they want. And they're like selling it as this unicorn, this amazing thing. And then you get in, you're like, this is just pure crap. That's not the way to do it. And that's how
Right.
sales are taught. And I don't agree with any of that. I'm
Mm,
very big on relationship based,
yeah.
guiding people to you. I tell people all the time for the House of Cortessa, get on the wait list. There's an informational session, but you cannot buy. And they're like, what do you mean I can't buy? Like someone literally told me, she's like, I want to buy right now. I'm like, you can't buy. It's an application based. You have to
Yes,
put an
yes.
application in,
Yeah.
build something. Don't go chasing people. Put the
Right.
word out there, build a relationship. And if it's right, they'll come to you.
Amen, sister. So good. I feel like we could talk about that for hours.
I know.
Just being on the same wavelength of, how do you help people buy in a way that
Yeah.
they want to, right? The
Yes,
way
it feels good. It
that
needs to
feels
feel
good.
natural. Yeah.
It feels
And
natural, it feels peaceful, right? And they're excited about it. And you don't have to like twist their arm.
no.
You never want to twist someone's arm. If you feel like you need to do that to help someone buy, then they're not ready. They're not the great fit for you.
If you want a cool sales technique, turn them away.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
why would you turn them away? So I had a full course that I was doing in one-on-one coaching for a long time. And I would have a conversation with someone and then I would tell them it's not the right coaching program for you.
Yep.
And they would be like, what? And I'd be like, I'm telling you. And they would get mad at first because they really
Mhm.
wanted to join. But a few weeks later, they'll call me and they're like, you know what? You were so right. I was sold on this thought. But after I thought about it, I realized that once I'm in, I would be miserable. It wasn't
Yep.
right. Turn
Yep.
them away because what they'll do is if it's not right, instead of getting them in and giving them falsehoods,
Right.
turn them away, let them realize it, and they'll actually bring you the right people. Because
Yes.
they're
So
like,
good.
she's authentic. She
Yeah.
knows she's not just here to get anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
She wants the right people. So I wasn't right, but I think you are. Go talk to her. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm curious for you, like when you think about the biggest piece of sales advice that you would give to someone just starting out, what would that be?
Finding yourself first.
Ooh, I like
Because
that.
so many people jump into a business and say, I'm going to sell XYZ.
Yeah.
Great. Are you authentic to yourself? Is it something you love? Because a lot of times I'll see something online. I could do drop shipping and then they're
Uh,
miserable, right? I could read audiobooks and with Audible and make money and then they're miserable. It's like, what do you really like? What do
mm,
you enjoy?
mhm.
Have that passion behind it. So when you're actually making the sales, you're not selling, you're
Yeah,
talking.
yes, that's
That's
so
the
good.
difference.
That is the key. Yeah. If you have to feel like you have to sell them and they're not selling themselves, then it's done wrong. You want to be asking purposeful questions to guide them into buying, but if they're not doing it for themselves and selling themselves, and you gotta be pressuresome and do all these crazy, nasty, gross tactics, then it's not the way to be. I'm really glad that we got to have this conversation because I think it highlights how to do sales in a way that one glorifies God, two continues to keep your reputation honorable, and three help others in a way that's genuinely caring about people and prioritizing them and what they need above yourself, because we're not in it for the money. We're in it to help people and then trust that the money will follow that. But for us at Action Academy, even though I'm training sales, it's like income is not the goal that we're going after. We're going after helping people with our services as much as we can, and we trust that the cash flow will follow.
And,
We're
and
focusing on helping people.
And that's what you need. And so let's
Yeah.
talk about that because your second arm of your business, which ties into this beautifully,
Yeah.
is you're training them how to close sales calls, which I
Yeah.
think it starts with getting things booked.
Right.
Yes, we talked about that. But what if you don't close it? So let's talk about how you're helping your clients by training them to close on the sale.
Yes, so we have a weekly group sales training where we take all the members of Action Academy and we focus on one sales tip, one strategy, one specific sales focus each week that's going to help them to know exactly what to say, how to have a fluid conversation, know what they need to know about a prospect when they're on the sales call to be able to qualify them and invite them to a presentation call. So we teach a two-step sales process because like warm referrals are very different than a cold sales process, right?
Yeah.
With warm referrals, you have the borrowed trust from that person. They already know that they're interested in buying from you. But with colder sales, that trust isn't there necessarily. There's not a relationship that's built. I learned this from Dale Carnegie, this two-step process. The first call we teach at Action Academy is really for the purpose of discovering all that we can about that person and qualifying them, knowing their challenges, knowing where they want to go, learning their budget, learning if they're the buying authority. And we take all that information to know if we want to invite them to a presentation call, is what we call it. And people are expecting you to try to help them buy on that first call, but we want to slow it down.
Yes.
We want to say, okay, we got to make sure that we're even a good fit first. You might not be a good fit. We might not be a good fit for you. And so continuing to just build that trust and build that relationship through slowing down the process and teaching them that structure and how to overcome objections, how to handle just different things that come up on sales calls. And each person, each client is different. And so we want to make it unique and provide one-on-one spotlight opportunities in the group training because that's what's really key is making it personable to each client and then saving time for Q&A as well. We mix it up. We have guest speakers come in and it's really fun time to build community as well.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit, well, because this is a good one. A lot of people don't understand this. Why do you need to slow down
Mm.
the sale? Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Slowing down the sale puts you in an authoritative position. It puts you in control. A lot of people will try to take the frame from you on the calls. When we stay in our agenda, if we continue to just pace the call in a way that allows us to know what we need to in order to be able to serve them well, then it puts us in the best position to be able to serve them. It puts us in an authoritative role. It helps us to be able to know what to say and when to say it and build that trust and build that relationship. Ultimately, if we're fast paced, pressuring, no one likes that. That puts people on the defense. But when we show up in a way that's very careful, that's easygoing, tempoed, pace, tone, the tonality is very important as well. It helps people just relax and in a better position to buy.
Have you ever heard the term sales breath?
I might have, but I don't know
Okay.
if I know what it means.
So in corporate, when you're doing corporate sales,
Yeah.
right, especially software sales, it's really hard because you can never get to the C level that you need to. So we have to go through the receptionist, then we have to go through some manager level, then we have to try to get from the manager to senior manager. So it's a lot of hoops to get through to even get to approval, to get someone to say yes.
Yeah.
If you come in with sales breath, you're like, oh my God, I have this great product. You got to do it. And you're just pitching all this stuff and you're telling all the great things about the product and they're not even the right person. It's like shutting you down so quickly. So we call it don't go hot and heavy with sales breath.
Love
Let's
that.
calm it down. And the big thing is,
Yeah.
even if you have someone on the phone with you who is really eager to buy, right?
Yeah.
You want that pacing and you don't want to rush to a sale quickly because that creates that doubt. I want you to buy, but before we get there, let's make
Uh-huh.
sure it's right for you. And you
Yep.
might think it is now, and I'm hoping it still will be, but let's just go through any questions you have. Let's just have a
Love
little
it.
bit of a conversation. And then if it all feels good at the end, we'll move to the next step. Sound good? And they're
Yes.
like, yes,
That's so good. Brilliant, brilliant. And that makes us be in a position, right, that's not sleazy either,
yes.
and in a position where we're not desperate.
Yeah,
Whenever we do just like you did, it was done brilliantly. You know how to do it, right? You've been doing this for
a
years.
long time. Yeah.
But people who are new to this,
Yes.
they might be a little desperate and think, oh, someone's ready to buy. Okay, well, let's just keep it going. But just like you shared, Christina, it's probably going to hurt you in the end. So keeping that pace, that's so good.
Yeah, no, I love that. As we're wrapping up today's podcast, I would love you to share where people can find you.
Yeah, like we shared on this podcast, my home is Instagram, and you can find me there at faith underscore Ann, ANN underscore Armstrong. It's my full name. And then you can find me also on Action Academy's website. It's myactionacademy.com. If anyone's interested in testing out our system, we want to test it first with you to see if there's a good fit. And so we can book you 3 free sales meetings if you would like to just test out our system and see how it works for you. And you can do that through our website by clicking on the link on the homepage, or you can DM me on Instagram as well. I'm happy to talk to you about that.
Awesome. We'll put all the links. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be below the videos. If you're listening to this on one of the podcast channels, it will be in the show notes. Definitely check her out. If you're like, I want to try Instagram and see if I can get more sales from Instagram, check her
Mm-hmm.
out. I love the strategy that you have where it's all relationship based, like we talked
Yep.
about.
Yep.
It's about building that first. Then it's
Yep.
about not just, hey, I have all these appointments for you. Here you go. It's, I'm going to help you get these appointments. Then I'm going to help you actually close them. And I think that two-prong approach is so huge. And I love that you have that.
Thank you.
So definitely check her out, have a call with her, see what you guys can do. If not, give her a follow on Instagram and go from there. So Faith, it was a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today.
This has been really fun, Christina. I enjoyed the conversation so much. Appreciate you having me.
Same here. Thank you.